I'm not ashamed to own my Lord, nor to defend his cause. Maintain the honors of his word, the glory of his cross.
Hello, I am James Brown, and on behalf of the East End Church of Christ located in Toronto, Canada, I'd like to welcome you to our Sunday question and answer edition of Walking Through the Bible, a podcast where we seek to study the Bible and the Bible alone. Please stick around afterwards for information on how you can contact us. But for now, we'll turn you over to Jeremy Diesekamp for our question of the day.
Thank you, James, and welcome to all of our viewers. Before we get to today's question, I'd like to remind everyone watching that they can submit their own questions to be answered either by commenting on any one of our videos or by emailing them to answerintheword@gmail.com. Obviously, not every question can be answered for this podcast, but if such is the case, we'll either email you back an answer or respond to your comment in the comment section. Today's question is, should people wear religious titles? I am an evangelist, which simply means that I am a preacher of the good news of Jesus Christ. Being an evangelist describes what I do. It is not my title. When I go out and teach classes or deal with people on the telephone or online, I constantly have to correct them when they refer to me as pastor or reverend, two things that I am not. A pastor or elder or shepherd, contrary to what people believe, is not the title of the preacher of the congregation. In fact, like evangelist, pastor is not even a religious title. It describes the duty of shepherding within a local church. The qualifications are found in 1 Timothy 3:1-7 and Titus 1:5-9. As such, a pastor is not a woman, a young person, an unmarried person, or a married person without faithful children. They are not arrogant people, greedy people, drunkards, or quick-tempered. To put it simply, pastors are men who best exemplify many of the qualities that all Christians are to possess. But again, the term pastor isn't a religious title where someone will be called pastor so-and-so, but it is a duty where the one undertaking those duties shepherd the congregation where they are members of. 1 Peter 5:1-2 says, "So I exhort the elders among you as a fellow elder and a witness of the sufferings of Christ, as well as a partaker in the glory that is going to be revealed. Shepherd the flock of God that is among you, exercising oversight not under compulsion, but willingly, as God would have you, not for shameful gain, but eagerly, not domineering over those in your charge, but being examples to the flock." Being a pastor is hard work and should not be undertaken by those who can't put forth a full effort. What about other religious titles like Reverend, Right Reverend, Father, Rabbi, or Pope? Are these titles that people should have? In Matthew 23:2-12, Jesus tells the crowd and his disciples, "The scribes and the Pharisees sit on Moses' seat, so practice and observe whatever they tell you, but not what they do. For they preach, but do not practice. They tie up heavy burdens hard to bear, and lay them on people's shoulders, but they themselves are not willing to move them with their finger. They do all their deeds to be seen by others, for they make their phylacteries broad and their fringes long, and they love the place of honor at feasts, and the best seats in the synagogue, and greetings in the marketplace, and being called rabbi by others. But you are not to be called rabbi, for you have one teacher, and you are all brothers. And call no man your father on earth, for you have one Father who is in heaven. Neither be called instructors, for you have one instructor, the Christ. The greatest among you shall be your servant. Whoever exalts himself will be humbled, and whoever humbles himself will be exalted." In this passage, Jesus was dealing with the hypocrisy of the scribes and Pharisees, but he laid down principles that all of his followers are to follow. He said the reason that the Pharisees and scribes were being hypocritical was because they taught the people that they needed to do something, and their teachings were correct, but then they failed to live by those standards. In fact, the only reason they seemed to want to do what they did was so that they could be powerful and could be revered by the people. They loved being called rabbi and being honored at the feasts, but they had no intention of practicing what they preached. Jesus told his followers that they shouldn't behave like this. He told them that they were not to wear religious titles like Father or Holy Father because God was their Father. They weren't to call themselves rabbi or teacher, an equivalent to pastor in the denominational world, because they have one teacher, namely Jesus. Who would be the greatest among Jesus' disciples? Those who were servants. Numerous times in his epistles, Paul referred to himself as a servant. That's what Christ wants us to be. He doesn't want us to exalt ourselves through the wearing of religious titles, but humbly serve him and others, recognizing that in doing so, we're giving the glory to where it really belongs, to God. Well, I'm sure much more can be said on this topic, but our time is up for now. Please watch this week's sermon titled The Elephant in the Room, which James will give you instructions on where to find in a moment. You can also join us, the Lord willing, tomorrow when we will be continuing our study of the book of Genesis, beginning at Genesis 9, verse 1.
Thank you, Jeremy. And to our viewers, we also thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel by clicking on the subscribe button below. Should you have any questions or comments, please leave a comment below or email us at answerintheword@gmail.com. We'll try to respond to you as quickly as we can. We hope you'll also be watching today's sermon edition, which can be found on our YouTube channel on the Walking Through the Bible 2017 Sermons playlist. Please also join us, Lord's willing, tomorrow when we will be continuing our study on the book of Genesis. Goodbye for now, and have a great day.
I'm not ashamed to own my Lord, nor